Now, with many problems faced by South Africa, citizens have described as insane South African tourism's move to enter into a billion-rand deal with the British soccer club. English Premier League giants Tottenham Hotspurs have confirmed the agreement is in its final stages. Now, authorities at SAT say it will attract visitors to the country. A Daily Maverick article alludes to the deal being announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa during his State of the Nation address next week. Now, many can agree with the former deputy chair of the SAT board, Thebe Kalafeng, who said just because it can be done doesn't mean it should. Let's speak now to eNCA's UK correspondent, Olly Barret. Olly, good morning. Thank you very much for your time. So we understand that the Democratic Alliance had attempted to engage Tottenham Hotspurs, but that request was declined. Talk to us about this.
That's right. We heard from the DA yesterday that they would be seeking a meeting with Tottenham Hotspur, essentially a fact-finding exercise to try and establish some of the facts behind this proposed deal between Spurs and SA Tourism. And I've heard from sources this morning that the DA have been refused that request. The way it's been described to me is that DA Abroad, London-based DA Abroad, requested a meeting with Spurs management to discuss the sponsorship agreement, and we are told, I'm told by sources, that that was refused, that Tottenham Hotspur refused to meet with DA Abroad. DA Abroad, I understand, will now seek a meeting with the South African High Commissioner to the UK to discuss this matter, so that's their next steps. I think it's not necessarily a huge surprise that Spurs didn't want to take that meeting, according to the sources that I'm talking to. It would be highly unusual in any normal business negotiation for one side to meet with the other side's political rivals in many ways to discuss the matter before it's all fully inked and signed and sealed and delivered. But certainly that DA Abroad fact-finding mission here in London won't be going ahead, it seems, in the shape of a meeting directly with Spurs officials here in London.
I suppose because also Spurs didn't get into any agreement with any political party. It's more government than anything else. So it, like you said, would be highly unlikely. But beyond this, what do we know from the UK on that side? Because we understand that it is at the final stages.
Yeah, I'm still hearing from sources close to this deal that the arrangement is very much in its final stages. It's effectively been agreed in principle between the two sides, but it does need that final sign-off. There have been plans for some kind of launch event here in London at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this week. People close to the deal are telling me that they still hope that that can go ahead this week, that that might take place at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Friday. Clearly, we have that briefing from SA Tourism in a little under 2 hours from now in Johannesburg, at which we're told that the record will be set straight. There are still plenty of questions swirling around this deal, so we might get more detail then about exactly how, when or whether this is all pressing ahead. I think from the Tottenham Hotspur side, there is very much an awareness of the controversy back in South Africa about whether this is the right way to spend such sums of money. From what I'm hearing from people close to the deal, the reported details, the suggestion that we're talking about £42 million or so, nearly R1 billion over 3 years for things like shirt sleeve sponsorship, branding opportunities, branding during match days. That is the type of arrangement that is under discussion and has effectively been agreed in principle between the two sides. But as I say, until you get that launch event, that agreement at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, with both sides saying that they have signed this deal, I think no one will want to count any chickens quite yet. This is a very controversial issue, clearly. One thing just to bear in mind is Spurs play at home on Sunday against Manchester City, a huge game in the Premier League. So you just wonder whether there will be a deal in place by then and whether you might even see some South African officials at that game.